Hello and welcome to the Decibel Boost podcast, the official music podcast of the website Surreal Resolution. I'm your host, Robert, and how the fuck do you lose a dog in airport luggage? And with me, I have...
I'm Mark, and why is there a turkey at the SR HQ?
The SR what now?
Surreal Resolution HQ. The site we're on!
Oh yeah. I actually don't have an answer for that. But we probably shouldn't contact the police. Although we probably should contact the police over things like, seriously, I feel so bad for Schoolboy Q. Did you hear about that shit?
Over him.
Okay, we're not going to bring this up in the main news topic, but, okay, apparently, I think it was either on a United or a Delta flight, they lost his dog in the fucking transit.
Oh, damn.
It was a French bulldog, too, apparently.
How do you lose the dog?
What did the dog ever... Come on, that's his dog. And it's a French bulldog. They're so wrinkly and cute and small.
Once again, another L for United.
Yeah, the airports can't do anything right these days. Well, I mean, except for Delta pissing off... What the fuck was her name? Ann Coulter?
Ann Coulter.
Sometimes the universe just hands you a freebie. So, yeah, episode 43, and how have things been going on your end, Mark?
They have been nothing. Mostly nothing.
Not any cool movies or anything, even?
Well, I got no money. I didn't have enough money to see him this week.
Aw. Yeah, same here. I literally have, like, at the moment, like, $40 in my bank account, and I don't get payday until Friday. Yeah, because I had my car insurance payment, and then my second payment I had to make on my 3 Points Festival ticket.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure it'll be worth it. Gorilla's Danny Brown.
And I know you will enjoy that shit.
Don't worry, Mark. Maybe I'll get lucky and get super rich between now and then fly you out here. Or maybe I'll run in front of a rich guy's car and get him to throw money at me. I mean, it worked on The Simpsons, I think. I actually don't remember how that episode went.
Shit, well, what's that? Damn, there's a lot of them, but fuck it.
The one where, like, fucking Bart, like, skateboards right in front of Mr. Burns' car? Or limo or whatever.
Oh yeah, that didn't really end well. They didn't get no shit.
Okay, there goes my plan. Okay, I got a better idea. We need chicken wire, some turkey, and I need you to meet me up at the Hollywood sign.
The Hollywood sign?
Oh, right. I forgot, my bad. The Hollywoo sign.
Alright.
By the way, how great is it that we're getting more BoJack in September?
Okay, that sounds good.
We all need the horse, man. But yeah, that's basically all that I really had to say for formalities and shit, because we got quite a lot to get through here this week. A lot of topics, and we got a dozen songs here for the new song discussion. And it was almost more. I almost found, like, there were at least 3 others that I wanted to put in the list, but this is already getting kind of big as it is, so just trim it down to a strong dozen or so. So we should probably try getting into that right now. So the new song discussions. As always, there will be a playlist down in the description if you want to listen to all of these songs for yourself and to follow along with us. So, starting from the top, our dear old friend with the creepy-ass face, Aphex Twin. So, he's been releasing a bunch of various mixes and tracks and whatnot in the past week as part of a collaboration with Korg to show off a new monologue instrument of theirs, a new synth thing of theirs, and so the last thing he releases is an actual proper track, which apparently samples his son's voice. Okay, is DJ Khaled just getting to everyone?
Okay. So he's his son to record this, or at least some parts of it.
He sampled like a vocal from him for like this track, but like, you know, that's not completely fair here. I mean, at least Aphex Twin actually did something here.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. What was it? Is it the song that's to sound like a very, let's see, like computerish, funky space song, like sometimes. Okay, again, the song is called Core Funk 5, which sounds like a 1970s anime. I don't know about, but yeah, it's about as weird and funky as it can get from Aphex Twin.
Yeah, it's a pretty bouncy, almost kind of really fun tune, especially with like the low end synths and how the melody, it kind of has this heavily staccato, like chopped feeling. And I'm guessing it's because of the equipment in particular, but there's a synth melody that kind of sounds like One O Trig's Point Never, who I believe also uses korg instrumentation. But I'm not entirely sure of that off the top of my head. But yeah, fun little tune. And as far as showcasing what a piece of equipment like the monologue can do, I think it gets the point across. And speaking of audiophiles, let's see what Alex has to say about this song.
I've always had a soft spot toward analog keyboard instruments, so Aphex Twin doing a track to show off Korg's new monologue keyboard, had to give it a listen, and I was not disappointed. I won't go on a long tangent or sidebar, but analog keyboards are super fun to play. I play them whenever I go to like a Guitar Center or Sam Ash or any of those places. And this song shows off just what exactly an analog synth is capable of, in, as the name would suggest, a rather funky manner. The thing that sold it on me, though, that was most interesting to me, I'm stumbling over my words, this little keyboard's only $300, so I may get one if I can gather the cash, because I'm into that kind of stuff.
Thank you very much. Now, moving on, we have a new single and a new album, the third album overall, in fact, from the noise punk band METZ, all caps with a Z at the end. It's called Strange Peace, coming out September 22nd, and this first single is called Cellophane. Now, it's about what you would expect from a METZ track. It's very loud and noisy, but this one isn't like a super pounding, like driving in your face kind of tempo. The tempo on this thing is a lot slower and steady, and yeah, the guitars, the production is very twangy with a lot of overdrive intermixed into this wall of noise, and then once it actually gets to the solo section, it all like swirls together into just an even bigger, like noisier mass of. It's a pretty simple tune by METZ standards, but I still found it rather enjoyable, and I can't wait to hear more noise in September. And speaking of punk-influenced shit and whatnot, we have this week's entry in the Adult Swim Singles program from a Sub-Pop signed post-punk act called Downtown Boys. This is actually a single from an upcoming release called Cost of Living, which is due out August 11th. The song is called Lips That Bite. I believe it's the third single released overall. And it's about what you would expect. It's a fairly standard kind of moody punk piece, very overdriven guitars, this weird off-kilter vocal delivery. There's even kind of like this one sort of synthy guitar note that like howls over all the verses. Also worth noting, apparently there's a saxophone solo near the end.
Yeah, I noticed that too. And I was like, wow, this is kind of interesting. I mean, it is like you say, like a punk. So like I don't know much about most about punk pop, but that saxophone bit in. So like, oh, okay, that's kind of unexpected.
And that's the whole point of the single. So that way you end up learning shit that you never knew before. I mean that unironically, of course. That isn't a joke or anything.
I get it. I get you.
So I may have to check out more of them by some point. I don't know when I'll get around to. But moving on to the next track, 100 Waters, the synth pop act who announced a new album for September 14th called Communicating, and they released the first single from the album, Blanket Me. Now apparently this has nothing to do with the song that they released a while back, I believe a few months ago. Apparently that has nothing to do with this new album here. But for the song itself, like, it opens with these kind of swelling organ-like keys and a deep warbled vocal sample. The verses have a lot of piano and this very romantic vocal approach with lyrics that are about, like, desperate longing for partner support. there's even a good stretch, like, from the middle of the song to the end where the vocals literally just loop the title "Blanket Me" over and over again, and in a weird way it almost kind of ends up sounding like a synth pop take on, like, Adele or something. Like, this is basically just like an Adele track with more synths.
Okay.
I mean, hey, it's just my opinion.
Now, yeah, no. I'm just picturing Rolling in the Deep, but with synths.
Well, you could probably, just go to the jukebox and select the special dance mix.
Oh, but don't they always suck?
Well, that's not true. I mean, have you ever heard the special dance mix of the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy theme?
Okay, you got me there.
Exactly. Don't question me, boy, or I will drill you under the table with this. It's okay, I'm kidding. Sort of.
I know, I know.
So, now moving on to our next single. We had a lot of songs that were fairly straightforward and serious. We need a song that makes you laugh. It's all about the comedy and shit. And thankfully, we have that courtesy of Jared Alonge's emo spoof project, Canadian Softball. We finally have the title and release date for their debut album, Awkward and Depressed, coming out July 28th. And we have the first single from the album, Your Validation. Now, as he stated on Twitter when going through the track list after the album announcement, the title and the lyrics are supposed to be a play on the emo act Modern Baseball, in particular a track from their second album called Your Graduation. The style of the song is very similar, with like the very airy atmospheric guitars and, the kind of driving drums that are like very driving but also at times a little laid back. And as for the lyrics, it sort of matches the same thing that Modern Baseball goes for in terms of a very narratively driven lyrical approach. And much like the song that it's playing off of, Your Graduation, the lyrics are a very sort of judgmental observation about an individual that it was, I guess, once really close with the main narrator. However, here it's used for a joking purpose. The joke of this song being that the friend in question, who we see through a bunch of photoshopped images in the video, is of course Jared Dines, apparently has this bad habit of going through a whole bunch of really weird musical phases. There's even a funny line there, like, oh, there was even like an EDM phase at one point, and you were vaping? Yeah, and that's basically just the gist of the joke. Like, just to quote a couple of funny lines of flashback 2006, a Linkin Park hoodie with some checkered kicks, posting on your MySpace dissing your haters, blasting Papa Roach from your Motorola Razr. God, that phone brings back memories. It's 2013 now, and we're back to pop punk for some reason. Also, it was like 4 straight weeks of just EDM music. Also, he started vaping, which is kind of weird, out of character. Yeah, that's just the entire gist of the joke, and apparently there's a point where they show Jared Dines photoshopped in an image holding a fucking Japanese body pillow.
Ooh.
I believe the word we're looking for here is roasted. But yes, this is a very delightfully humorous, absurd song riffing on, emo conventions, but I wonder what Alex has to say about this.
Hey, that Canadian Softball album's coming out in a few weeks. Go on, you, Gerard. And hi there, Jared Dines cameo in those pictures in the video. Although I could have really done without the RAR XD emo kid pictures. Anyway, the music, it's what you'd expect from Canadian Softball and Jared Alonge. But that Motorola Razr reference in the song gave me a big nostalgia cringe. Look, I really wanted those in middle school. I wanted one of those so badly in middle school. Like in the song, though, we all go through our phases, like me being a total anime nerd. Wait.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, we have to move on. Next track, 9 Inch Nails. They have a newly announced EP that's actually dropping this Friday called Add Violence. And they released a single, Less Than. Now, this particular song, it opens with this very bouncy 80s influenced new wave keyboard melody that it's very pleasant and nice when you're first hearing it, but then it naturally gets contrasted by, when the actual guitars and the bass kick in with this very moody, heavily industrialized production to it. The lyrics are, of course, very nihilistic as hell and, very loathing of, I guess, someone in particular that pissed them off. I'm not entirely sure. In fact, what this almost kind of reminds me of is the song Only from his 2005 album With Teeth. Just in the same way it has those two conflicting influences of cheery 80s new wave with, 90s industrial just angst and whatnot. It's not a bad song. I kind of like it. I'm sure Alex has some thoughts on this as well, so...
I've mentioned before that I'm not the biggest fan of Trent Reznor, save for a couple of songs, so when I gave this new Nine Inch Nails track a listen, well, it wasn't what I was expecting. By that I mean I wasn't expecting a chiptune-inspired intro, and I certainly wasn't expecting a more mainstream active rock grooving hook in the chorus. Not bad. That video is trippy too, so yeah, it's a positive. Good on you, Trent. Good on you. Keep it up. Maybe.
Thank you for that. And now we're moving on to Tyler, the Creator.
Another joint. With Cushion Nose Scumfly Fuckboy coming out this Friday. He has a new joint called Boredom. Guess what the song's about?
I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's about eating waffles.
Exactly, it's about all about it. Okay, no. Okay, but no. This song, this is like, mostly a state of boredom and how bored and sometimes lonely he is, which I think give him like it is one of those slow Tyler Creator songs. Although I wouldn't say it's not as awkwardly disturbing as the other Tyler's, like the other slow down Tyler track. It's more like, I don't know what to do. I'm just sitting here. I'm bored. I don't know what to fucking do. I'm just, like, he's like, motherfucker, I'm bored. And
he also kind of sounds like annoyed because like he wanted to make plans, but it almost seems like no one's answering his calls and everyone's just kind of leaving him in the dust.
Yep. And also there's also some vocals from three people. Kareem Billy Ray, somebody named Rex Orange County, okay, and somebody named Anna of the North.
I have no idea who any of these people are.
I only know one of these people, at least a bit, like a small bit, but fuck it, but yeah, like who's Anna of the North?
I don't know. They're a person, I guess. Are they related to Norm of the North?
I didn't even say so. I didn't even say that shit.
Wow, am I really that predictable? I gotta work on my material, man.
But yeah, this song is quite solid. I will say, like I say, it's definitely like, maybe one of the, a slow song of Tyler that you can get with without feeling kind of weird or awkward, like weird, but not in a good way, or in a indifferent. Yeah, it's a right song. It's a good song.
Yes, it is. My hopes are actually kind of up for Scumfuck Flower Boy. Please be good. I'm sure it'll be at this point. But moving on to music that I haven't really thought about since like high school, barely. The gothic metal act Cradle of Filth, who have announced their latest release, Cryptoriana, The Seductiveness of Decay, coming out September 22nd. And they have this first single, Heartbreak and Séance, of course. And yeah, it's, I only ever listened to like one Cradle of Filth album in my entire life, but between then and now, I can't, have they actually changed? Like, to anybody who's listening to this who knows Cradle of Filth, have they changed much between, I want to say, about 2005 or so and now? Whatever was the album that had her Ghost in the Fog on it, because this sounds basically exactly the same as how I remember Cradle of Filth back then. Like, there's this Latin choir with the doom and gloom over-the-top vocals, swelling gothic synths with these very fast-picked tremolo guitar patterns, drums that occasionally go into, blast beat territories, and then, of course, the vocals of Danny Filth, which waver wildly between, like, moody, monologuing, grotesque, guttural growls, and then, of course, that absolutely annoying, ear-piercing screech that just, like, howls over everything, and you're just like, man, this sounds exactly like the constant ringing that I'm always having in my ears, like, and your voice is not helping, sir. I will say there is something kind of interesting in the beat, as occasionally it will go into these kind of distinct 6-8 time like groove digressions, but other than that, it's just kind of there as a song, I guess. I don't know, maybe Alex has something different to offer as far as opinions.
Cradle of Filth. Nothing says supreme edgelord dark gothic metal in the late 2000s than these guys. I will say though, this does sound a lot more understandable than some of the stuff I've heard from them before. Maybe they've changed their style up in the 10 years since I last bothered listening to them. But these guys doing melodic death metal? Middle school me would have been amazed at that, but Danny Filth, those vocals need work. The screeching screams don't work at all with the main melodies. Go for the Nordic Viking metal vocal approach. That actually works. And leave the screeching aside, please. There's a cool video, too, with the whole Game of Thrones look to it. I love how one of the guitar players has a James Hetfield signature snakebite guitar with blood splatter paint all over it. And by that I mean, couldn't we have left that behind with Atreyu in 2008? Come on, man.
And now moving on to another metal track that incorporates a lot of symphonic elements from the Greek metal act Septicflesh, whose newest album Codex Omega is due out September 1st. We have the first single from the album titled Third Testament, Codex Omega. I'm not going to get into the lyrics, even though there is a lyric video here, because it's a lot of, over-the-top religious symbolism, doom and gloom, apocalypse, all that neat shit. And as far as the actual song itself, it's a Septicflesh track. The drums are, blast beated to hell. There's a lot of brass and string orchestration with soaring Latin singing. Fast tremolo patterns that occasionally have some semi-interesting accentuated rhythmic changes as far as like switching on the upbeat of every measure and beat or so. But other than that, it's just kind of, there. Like, to be honest, Septicflesh was never my first choice for symphonic metal of this ilk. I would always go to Flesh God Apocalypse for that, but this song it'll do in a pinch, I guess. I don't know. Alex, what do you think?
Rob, I don't know how you feel about Septicflesh, but this song just put me to fucking sleep. Oh my god. Unimaginative guitar work, blast beat abuse, edgelord Satan lyrics about... I don't even know. I felt nothing for this one. Big fat pass.
Thanks for that. And now we move on to something much more interesting, probably one of the more controversial songs that came out in the past week. The experimental metalcore act Stray from the Path have announced their newest album, Only Death Is Real, due out September 8th. Now, Stray from the Path are a really good band in my opinion. Even, I know a lot of people get on them for some of their recent albums delving into straight-on Rage Against the Machine worship, but I don't think they do it badly necessarily. And so, with a band like this, who always put out a lot of really pummeling, hardcore-influenced metal tracks with a very political bent to them, it makes you wonder what exactly this next single is going to be, what their first big exposure of this new album will be. And of course, it's a track titled Goodnight Alt-Right. I wonder what this could be about.
Hey? Oh no.
Yes, and of course the quote, ironic Nazis of the internet seized on this and basically disliked the video to hell, thanks in no small part to that dipshit from InfoWars, Paul Joseph Watson, but I'll veer back to that in a minute.
That fucker.
Now, first off, as for the actual song itself, it's a pretty killer metalcore track. There's these very ferocious in-your-face choruses. The verses actually kind of have this really cool, almost kind of like a swing beat to them. And then when it actually gets into that last breakdown, it just goes absolutely heavy and intense and in your face, and I like that. Now as for the actual lyrics, okay, so obviously it's a screed against the alt-right, and in particular, there's a lot of references to Nazis getting punched in the face, even specifically name-dropping Richard Spencer at one point. You know, a lot of, if you preach hate, then expect hate to get thrown back at you, which, you know, I'm failing to see how you could disagree with that. If you're preaching an ideology that's based entirely on, you know, hatred of minorities and advocating, air quotes, peaceful ethnic cleansing, you can't just say that and expect not to get punched in the face.
Yeah, you say some shit like that, expect to get knocked the fuck out.
Exactly.
Like, badly.
And of course, there's even a nod to one of the most famous catchphrases in the entire canon of punk rock, the Dead Kennedys classic, Nazi punks fuck off. So now, I want to, like I said, I like the song overall, and of course I could wholly get behind the message, but I want to veer back to the Paul Joseph Watson thing for a minute, because I think it's kind of funny how he bitched about this song, even though as far as drones for the alt-right, the song name drops Richard Spencer specifically, because in case you're unfamiliar with these two people, Richard Spencer, the alt-right neo-Nazi guy, and the InfoWars Paul Joseph Watson guy, these two guys hate each other. In fact, it goes as far as for Watson once referring to Richard Spencer as, and I'm not making this up, a right-wing social justice warrior.
Oh, damn. So,
and it was at that point that the phrase SJW officially failed to mean anything for me. It's now just a sound effect at this point, like a chirping bird. So it's kind of funny to me that Watson is bitching about the song because he doesn't even like Spencer. So theoretically, anything that mocks him specifically, you think he'd be all for. So like, what exactly is the problem here, dude? It doesn't even really make a whole lot of sense. What are you mad about if the song specifically name drops a dude that you yourself despise? I'm telling you, these alt-right weirdos make no goddamn logical sense.
You ain't got that right. My hair is thinking about that shit now.
And that's why it's always fun to see one of them get knocked the fuck out, as you and the vocalist of Straight from the Path both put it. And I imagine anybody who listens to this is probably going to give me a bunch of shit, but you know what? Bring it, motherfucker. And I believe... You know, I'm curious. Does Alex have any insight onto this?
Straight from the Path. I wonder what this is all... Nope! Next!
Gee, way to totally offer a detailed insight and have my back on this. You're really a pal, Alex. Jeez. But whatever, it is what it is. So now we move on to our last two songs, which are thankfully not as controversial. So we got Chance the Rapper featuring Young Thug.
Oh yeah. This big song to save SoundCloud. All that shit.
Oh, we'll get to that in the news, but continue.
Yeah, since it's just SoundCloud. It sounds like a song that would be on SoundCloud for my mixtape. Anyway, yeah, this song is called Big Bees, which, I don't get that shit. And the boys in the song will think, it says Chance featuring Young Thug. It should have been reversed. Because it sounds like a Young Thug track with Chance on it. Only thing it says, I can't tell who was Young Thug, who was Chance, because sometimes I keep hearing, okay, I'm guessing that's Young Thug, and wait, maybe that's Chance? No, that's, I think before that sometimes Chance kind of almost sounds like him in some verses, but yeah, the song's really not all that great to remember. It's like standard Young Thug song. Only you got a chance to hype it up to say, oh, this is gonna save SoundCloud. You gotta listen to it. This is gonna save the work of independent artists everywhere and all that shit. Even though this sounds like shit you would hear on SoundCloud. And
check out my next mixtape.
But yeah, this song really don't do that much for me.
Yeah, this is some straight up SoundCloud filler if there was this textbook definition. I mean, I will give some slight credit because at least Young Thug sounds vaguely comprehensible on this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
for like
it's been
80% of his verse.
yes, yeah, like some, yeah, like I think Young Thug is. I think he's improving this year with some shit he's been like I can understand what he's saying most of the time. It's like I said before, like on the Calvin Harris thing, I talk about on the album roundup, like he sounds like he's like, he's comprehensible. Like, I can understand him. I mean, there could be an improvement. I saying like he might be improving, maybe. It's like,
except for the part where there's like this really weird sound that I can only really describe as like a bird vomiting.
oh.
I think it's at the tail end of Young Thug's verse. I think it's like a minute 50 seconds in, or maybe like a minute and 10 seconds. I don't fucking know. It's just, of course, he had to leave in that little weird thug-ism, I guess, because reasons.
I guess got get trademark sound to know that it's a Young Thug track. Is that okay?
Yes, of course. But anyway, we'll move on from that to the last song of the week, second single by Kesha from her upcoming August 11th release, Rainbow. And okay, so our introduction to this album was a very, deeply personal and emotional, piano ballad. So
Yep.
How does this second single shake up?
Funky as hell!
Yeah, this woman, this isn't a sound I was ever expecting from Kesha. For the record, it features some guest work from the Dap Kings horn section from this revivalist sort of old school funk project, fully known as Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings. This is, it's basically like a 70s, kind of soul funk, kind of big bandish thing. Like, I almost kind of thought of like, classic Aretha Franklin. If you need the best possible frame of reference for this song, it's like, it's trying to be a sort of pop banger in the same way that sort of a lot of Bruno Mars' best songs are. Just, aping the musical styles of the old school in a modern pop context. But goddamn, if Kesha doesn't have like she sounds really like energetic on this. She's got a level of swagger and charisma that is sorely missing from a lot of big pop music nowadays. I'm hoping this becomes a hit. Like, I don't know if it's charted or if it's close to charting in any way, but God, I hope so.
Well, I'm guessing it might chart next week because I heard that her other song charted like number 20 something, but hopefully it will, chart higher. Hopefully, get some good buzz going around. But yeah, the song right here, Woman. Fuck, this is fucking aces. This is fucking good. Like this has got enough bombast to keep me interested, especially with how the Dap Kings did their thing, which I keep on thinking that sound almost sound like a song that I know, but fuck it, this song it's a good song. Like, I actually want to see what the rest of Kesha's upcoming album is like.
Yeah, we have a ballad, we have a 70s soul and funk inspired pop banger. Who knows what else is sitting in there? It's a mystery. And so that about covers all the new song discussion for this week. So we're going to take a quick break because I need a sip of water. When we come back, we have some news topics to discuss. So see you in like 30 seconds.
Stay tuned.
And we're back. Unfortunately, our first two stories this week have to do with musician deaths. So this first one is a particularly big one. Unfortunately, we have to bid farewell and rest in peace to Christopher Wong Wan, aka Fresh Kid Ice, one of the key MCs and founding members of Two Live Crew. Apparently, he passed away last Thursday, and as far as I know, it just says health issues were the cause, although there wasn't a specific thing, specified.
Yeah, damn. And at 53 too. Like, oh shit. I mean, I know like a little bit about Too Loud Crew, at least from basically, from watching videos late at night where you should be at bed. Like, okay, I don't have that much of a memory of them, but it's like very like raunchy, very raunchy. They got the girls shaking their asses, and all that shit.
I only ever knew like a handful of songs with them, but I always did have a certain level of respect for them, especially given when they had to go all the way to the Supreme Court due to their album As Nasty As They Want to Be. Apparently the courts sided with, Two Live Crew, and interestingly, this ended up paving the way for what we all know nowadays, parental advisory labels. So,
yeah.
This very raucous, party, rap, at least as far as, like, by 90s standards.
Yeah, it's music like your kids should listen to. So yeah, they pay the way for that. Pay the way for for that shit.
Not to mention, Wong Won in particular being one of like the first like really prominent Asian MCs. That's no small feat, and that's something that shouldn't be like looked down on. So.
Well, yeah, that's true, and I didn't even know that till now.
Yeah, so rest in peace, Fresh Kid Ice. Our condolences go out to your family, loved ones, and colleagues.
Mm-hmm.
And now for the other death that happened, and this one was kind of also rather sudden, but it kind of happened in a much more messed up kind of way. So, band Adrenaline Mob had been on tour, and they were actually driving through Florida, particularly somewhere around, I want to say Gainesville. Apparently, when their RV and trailer were pulled over because they had to change a flat tire, they were hit by a tractor trailer that veered off the road, and while a handful of the members of Adrenaline Mob were injured, unfortunately, bassist David Zabludowski was the major fatality here.
Fuck.
Damn, like, I know this is a thing that does happen for, like, van flips and tour, like, van accidents, vehicular manslaughter and all, but holy shit, for, like, that one person to, like, die out of all of them is just... That's, like, a very awful way for things to go.
Like, for real.
And it isn't even, like, the first time they've gone through, like, a tour bus crash. Apparently, they also went through one in 2014 where apparently no one had been seriously injured. But, damn, this is just an awful thing to happen. So not only does this affect Adrenaline Mob, but he's also been a long-standing bass player for Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Perhaps longer with them than he had been for Adrenaline Mob, so... Fuck. I'm not really sure I had anything else to add. Like, Alex was going to add something, but he couldn't find the right tone of voice for it, so... I guess all we have to say is, rest in peace, David Z. Again, our condolences go out to your family, your loved ones, and your musical colleagues. I'm depressed now. We need to move on to the other stories now, so...
Yeah, let's lighten things up.
So, let's move on to Spotify, who have been going through going through the motions these past few weeks, especially after a prominent payola controversy, as well as a completely separate controversy where apparently they had been paying, underground, quote-unquote, fake artists to populate, their services with music and plays. So, there's been a lot of weird shit going on Spotify's end.
A lot of fuckery.
Although apparently it hasn't seemed to affect their music dealings, as they have now managed to reach a royalty deal with Sony Music, of all companies. Now, this is actually a pretty critically important step as far as Spotify's overall business model, because as we mentioned, I believe last month or the month before, Spotify had entered into a deal with Universal Music Group. It's the one that we said would allow them to put out certain albums by their artists behind like a 2-week paywall for premium users, and if you weren't premium, you had to wait 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And that was like just one big label. Now they have exclusive royalty partnerships with Sony and Universal, and apparently this deal would allow Sony Music to do the same thing that Universal was doing. But apparently what makes this significant is that there's one other major, all-encompassing big music label that hasn't reached a certain royalty deal with Spotify, and that is Warner Music Group. Now, if Spotify at any time in the near future does secure that deal with Warner Music, this would actually allow the company to go public. For the layman here, going public would mean that Spotify would be able to participate in like Wall Street activities. So like they would actually be like a listed company in the New York Stock Exchange, and stocks could be bought, sold, and traded. And even more Dixon suits can act as middlemen in the ways, striving away all that low royalty money from the hardworking artists who give you that hashtag quality music content.
And at the end of the day, it looks like the artists who work hard still get fucked.
Pretty much. In fact, okay, so I don't know what the specifics are as far as like how much money is going to be, switching hands here, but the article here notes that at least with the Universal deal, Spotify pays out a smaller percentage of royalties to the label, 52% instead of 55%, which, congratulations, 52% of a penny is like 0.52 cents.
In other words, you get paid less than nothing.
Yeah, so who knows? Maybe if it does go public, it might allow them to actually find ways to bring in some money, so maybe they can pay musicians fair streaming royalties, but yeah, I kind of doubt it. And now, moving on to the next story, the Emmys. So, recently, the Emmys, announced their big slate of nominees for the next upcoming award ceremony. A lot of the stuff that you would expect, obviously big prestige dramas. Yeah. I'm pretty sure our boy Donald Glover got a nomination for Atlanta.
He did. As an actor and best comedy series, he better win.
If it doesn't get at least one of those, I'm going to be very mad. And, of course, there were quite a lot of music-related categories, strung throughout. So let's just try to run through these as quickly as possible. So, for music-related nominees, so for Outstanding Original Music and Lyrics, we had Common, Robert Glasper, and Kareem Riggins' Letter to the Free from the documentary 13th. Adam Schlesinger, Rachel Bloom, and Jack Dolgen's We Tapped That Ass from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which I assume is a bad TV show. Christopher Willis, Derek Bachman, and Paul Rudish, Jing-a-ling-a-ling from Duck the Hall's A Mickey Mouse Christmas Special. Okay, Jing-a-ling, yeah, that sounds like some Disney gibberish, all right. Jonathan Kimmel and Gary Greenberg's The Ballad of Klaus Jorstad from Jimmy Kimmel Live. Yeah. Chance the Rapper, Kenan Thompson, Eli Brigman, and Will Stevens' Last Christmas from Saturday Night Live. And Jeff Richmond, Tina Fey, and Sam Means Held No from the Netflix series Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Now, for Outstanding Music Supervision, Thomas Golubic from AMC's Better Call Saul. He also did the music supervision, I believe, for Breaking Bad, so great nomination. Susan Jacobs, or Big Little Lies, which I've never watched. Manish Raval, Jonathan Leahy, and Tom Wolfe for Girls, also never watched. Zach Coey and Kerry Druten for Master of None. And Nora Felder for Stranger Things. Now, as I see it, it's probably going to be a toss-up between Golubic and Felder, because, no one shuts up about the music in Stranger Things, like the licensed music choices. But, Better Call Saul always knows how to get some great licensed music drops in there, so that's personally what I'm rooting for. For Outstanding Music Direction, Jack White, T-Bone Burnett, Duke Erickson, and Bernard McMahon for American Epic. David Lai for Joshua Bell, Seasons of Cuba. Ricky Minor for Stayin' Alive, a Grammy salute to the music of the Bee Gees. Wait, was that fucking Bee Gees tribute performance?
It was.
Okay.
It was that shit. I think, yeah, it was.
Wait, I'm confused here. Are you allowed to nominate segments from awards shows for other award shows? I mean, I guess you are, but that seems kind of like self-cannibalizing, Michael Bearden for Super Bowl 51 halftime show starring Lady Gaga. Ricky Minor for Taking the Stage, African-American Music and Stories That Changed America. And Tom Scott for Tony Bennett Celebrates 90. Holy shit, he's 90?
Damn.
That's old. Okay, and last but not least, for Outstanding Original Main Title Theme Music, Matt Quayle for Feud, Bet and Joan. Never heard of it. Hans Zimmer and Lauren Balfe for Genius. Of course, you have Michael Stein and Kyle Dixon for the Stranger Things theme. John David Buckley for The Good Fight. Martin Phipps for Victoria. And, of course, my boy Ramin Djawadi for Westworld, which I still need to get around to. So, yeah, those are all your main music category nominees. I mean, music is sprinkled out elsewhere through the nominees, but, you know, for the most part, those are the ones that explicitly deal with it, so...
Yep, pretty much.
I mean, hopefully there's some interesting stuff to watch there on the Grammys. Wait, why
am I saying
Grammys? Fuck, the Emmys. I'm sorry, there's phonetic similarities between those two words, and I get very confused. But yeah, for the Emmys, hopefully all the nominees, you know, the best people win, and seriously, give my boy Donald Glover that fucking Emmy. And oh my god, they honestly nominated that fucking carpool karaoke bullshit. God dang. I actually tried watching that, you know, after Alex chewed me out for not knowing James Corden, and I just don't get the appeal here. For some reason, my sister thinks it's hilarious. Just, whatever, I guess. Oh, wait, I just noticed something funny here. Okay, so apparently for Outstanding Sound Mixing for a Variety Series or Special, they nominated the 59th Annual Grammy Awards. Yeah, I'm pretty sure our boys at Metallica would like a word with you on that. I'm sure they would love to discuss the excellent sound mixing quality there. But anyway, so moving on to the second to last news story. Now we bring it back to the whole SoundCloud thing. So last week we mentioned that they had laid off 40% of their total their employees, rather, sorry. And we didn't know how much further things were going from there, but eventually a lot of the speculation from, like, further meetups had basically, you know, stirred these very plausible rumors that they only had enough money saved from those firings to last up until the start of the fourth business quarter, which was basically about 50 days from when that news first broke out. So everyone was like, oh no, the sky is falling, SoundCloud's going away, where are all the mediocre rappers supposed to put their mixtapes?
They're going to die, I'm not getting noticed.
Like, shit, where the hell are me, Tyler, and Joey, and Alex supposed to put the Surreal Resolution mixtape? We're buffing out the production right now, so we gotta look at distributors.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about it. If they go away, why we have to adult swim singles since they mostly put? Oh wait, then again, they put the shit on YouTube. But well, then again,
yeah. And plus, nobody like really downloads them from like SoundCloud. Yeah. They're busy, at least when you used to download them from the site, and now you just use YouTube to MP3 on the YouTube uploads. But a twist here. So remember how we mentioned Chance the Rapper?
Remember that?
Here's where it gets interesting. Apparently, he had sent out some rather cryptic tweets. So, going in order, at least if we're quoting from a handful here. So, he had tweeted, quote, "I'm working on the SoundCloud thing, and at an artist who you wouldn't know if not for at SoundCloud." Apparently, this led to a discussion with SoundCloud's founder and CEO, Alex Lung, L-J-U-N-G. I'm not good with these fucking foreign names. And he even tweeted, quote, "Just had a very fruitful call with Alex Lung. SoundCloud is here to stay." Now, who knows what this means? Because we know Chance likes to make, charity donations to all kinds of organizations and whatnot. So, it's very well possible that he has some capital lying around to invest in SoundCloud to keep them afloat for the foreseeable future, especially since Alex's tone, at least as far as his communications to the public, became a lot more positive and just generally affirmative rather. God, I can't talk this tonight. After all the doom and gloom of the prior announcements and emails. So who knows what Chance the Rapper did, but thank you, sir. Now we can have the latest Pink Guy Calchuchesta, crossover thing, mixtape, whatever.
It comes through the Black Hybrid mixtape.
Oh yeah, I'm still waiting for that. I hear there's some good stuff on there.
Oh, we'll see. This is some good shit there.
I even hear there's some bangers from Mike Will Made It.
I helped him on some part. I helped him.
But yeah, so I guess thank you, Chance, for keeping SoundCloud alive for who knows how long, because I'm not sure how many times Alex is going to be able to run to you for money. And speaking of which, what exactly does this mean for the guys that got laid off?
Yeah, what about them? Like, I guess that means, why can't you stay on jobs then?
I know, right?
I'm broke now. I'm homeless.
Yeah, I even heard, like, some of the employees, like, they had apparently, there was one guy who even got fired, like, pretty much 2 weeks before he was supposed to start a new job at SoundCloud. So, like, damn. He'd even moved and everything, and it's like, what the fuck?
Damn.
I mean, I hope Chance at least negotiated to help get those dudes their jobs back, and more.
Give them some money to keep them floating by. Or at least, I don't know, don't let them, like, give them money to, at least, keep them afloat.
Yeah, or at the very least, offer to release those 40% mixtapes. In case you can't tell, we love making mixtape jokes.
Pretty much.
And speaking of mixtapes, I'm actually not sure how that counts as a transition. We have one last topic for this week. Not necessarily concerning any big articles, but there was the rather big, this past Friday, post to the XXL YouTube channel where we finally got the ciphers from their 2017 freshman class. Now, yeah, so we took time to listen to all of them. I went in a very specific order here because I want to build to something at the end, but, me and Mark are going to go by this one by one in sort of the 3 chunks that were posted.
Yeah.
Of course, worth noting, all the beats for these ciphers were produced by none other than Sony Digital, who did some okay beats here, I will admit.
The dude definitely delivers on his beats. I just kind of like the beat there on a little bit on like the last cipher. I like the last cipher he did. But yeah, dude did some killer beats.
But yeah, let's go into this, and let's start from the top with the first chunk of 3. So, starting from here, we have PNB Rock.
PNB Rock, and his cipher, well, shit. It's man, I think it's a very man cipher. Like,
it's alright. Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Like he did all right job of it. Like, alright. Alright, like, there ain't much shit of note.
I mean, it's mostly just about, like, he's rapping about, like, getting his bitch in a 3-way with another girl, but, I mean, he has a decent flow, at least, so.
Yeah, there's that.
And then.
Yeah,
oh, you were saying?
Oh, yeah, he got the whole, remember, want to fuck this girl with other girl, like, all that shit, but, and I'm gonna do, he did keep me at attention at, like, sometimes, but PNB Rock, he did alright.
Now moving on to the second here, Cap G. This is one that, for me, just kind of, like, flowed in one ear and out the other. I don't remember a damn thing about it.
I want to remember it, but, like, he rapped. He rapped, and I don't know, I think, but like I said, I don't know much about him, and over your freestyle, I was like, well, you sound alright. You sound alright, but not much for me to keep attention on.
Yeah, and then we move on to the last of this first chunk of 3, Kamea, and she, I think, gets the most time out of these 3, but, like, it almost kind of sounds like she's struggling to fill time. Like, I mean, she's bragging about, like, her, for the most part, her realness and, like, her sexual prowess, how she's got more stamina, all these other fake hoes or whatever, and some weird line about how some dude is fighting with his girl while she's just at home with a good book, but it's like, I don't know, it almost sounds like she sounds the most bored out of the 3 here. That's saying a lot considering Cap G.
Yeah, I mean, out of all the ciphers of this section, like I think hers is the most notable, at least to me. But to me, it's like that's because I want to like her cipher. I kind of slightly do a bit, but and like I did like her braggadocious way, but she sounds she just want to get get the shit over with, like.
Yeah, because like, okay, so as I mentioned when we listened to that new single of hers, she was, I don't know if that's the whole of her style, where she goes for this kind of throwbacky New Jack Swing TLC thing, but she sounds more comfortable doing that than she does throwing a straight up in your face ghetto as fuck freestyle. You know, it sounds like I think thinking about like from last year, like I say last year because when Anderson .Paak did this cipher, he'll normally like rap or sing on that type of beat. Like he's more soulful, and I think with Kamaya, like she don't rap to this type of beat. Like it's like she's good, but put on a different beat than this. Like the beats are right, but I think they don't mesh as well as we think it would be. Okay, so that covers the first set, and now we're moving on to the second set here, which consists of Kyle, A Boogie with the Hoodie, and Anime. Oh, wait, sorry.
Amine?
Yeah, that guy. So, I'm just going to say this right off the bat, starting from the top. Out of all the ciphers, I think Kyle had the best one. Like, it was basically just skating between a bunch of, really clever, witty punchlines. A couple of my favorites where he's insulting other people for, quote, blowing up like a mattress, and even a really funny line about reference The Matrix, and also something about doing mathematics. Like, that's in the same line, and that's a line I kind of really love and appreciate, because as a statistics major who's had to go through college-level math courses, I've had to do matrices. I've had to do matrix math. That shit is not easy. So I'm kind of surprised he came up with a line like that sounds like he knows what that shit is. But yeah, it's just, it's a solid verse that's just clever line after clever line. I'm kind of impressed. I actually want to check out more Kyle now.
Well, no, but yeah, but like Kyle Cypher, he definitely fucking nailed it. Like I feel like this is definitely like somebody who definitely showed his best on Cypher. Like I definitely dig the hell out of his Cypher. Like yeah, it's some good shit.
And then there's A Boogie with the Hoodie, whose verse is just all about like the complications associated with dealing drugs and going, for lack of a better term, from rags to bitches. God, that's innocent.
Yeah, like okay, like I gotta admit, like his verse is not bad. Although I will say, out of the cipher of these three, he's just like at the bottom. I'm not saying he's worse. It's just like he's competent. Like he's good. He's good. Like I think to me, he's on the same level as Kamaya. It's like, okay, your verse, okay, your cipher was good. I can appreciate it in some way. But it's like, you're okay, you're good, but I ain't I'm not been 1,000 on you yet.
Yeah. And then there's Amine, who, yeah, his verse again just kind of flowed in one ear and out the other for me. I don't remember a damn thing about it.
Shit. Okay, I want to say I do. Okay, I won't say I do remember it, but I kind of, like, I like his flow. That's about it. And
yeah, but see, I don't even like his flow that much. He sounded bored. Like, again, he sounded like, okay, you know that one joke in SpongeBob where it shows Squidward wearing a button that says, "I really wish I weren't here right now"? That was his cipher to me. It was the lyrical version of that.
I guess with the film, he was faking being, he was faking being happy, like, because I know, like, during the cow cipher, he's like grinning like a motherfucker. It's like, did you want to be here? But
yeah, but I guess that's life, I suppose. And now we move on to the last four, chunk of four, which I'm not gonna say who all the rappers are starting from the top, but we're just gonna flow into it as we get into it. We're building to something here.
Yeah, I'm just
Starting
gonna, yeah.
from the top, Playboy Cardi.
Okay, can I start first?
Sure, go ahead.
This motherfucker suck.
Yeah, this is hardcore filler as fuck right here.
Like you keep saying like something, yeah, I don't know about, no, yeah, something, yeah, like you keep on repeating the same fucking lines. Like, it's kind of annoying.
There's more ad libs here than a Migos track. Like, goddamn. And then, we go into Made in TYO, who, yeah, he's more filler shit. And, of course, more repetition. There's, specifically, he repeats a lot of lines about, like, look at my diamonds or whatever. But I was like, was he even wearing diamonds? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Although I will give him credit for one thing. And I don't know how many people noticed this while watching the Cyphers, but out of all the 10... he is the only one that did not cup the mic as he was rapping. Like, okay, it's already dumb enough we have to deal with metal vocalists cupping the mic who don't understand that that's a thing you don't do because that sound needs to come out of the back end part of the mic. So, like, when rappers do it too, it's like, dude, what's your excuse, man? Stop cupping the mic, dumbass. So, I guess credit to Made in TYO there. But then we get into Ugly God, who... okay, first off, can I say, this motherfucker looks like he would be a science teacher on Blackish. I'm not even kidding. Like, this dude's, like, nerdy as fuck looking, like... oh boy, guys, I'm so happy to be a part of the Cypher, yeah!
Damn! We'll say one thing about Ugly God's Cypher. At least wasn't, water booty beating your meat. Which basically is...
Instead, it's just like... Again, he's just telling you to look at a bunch of things on me. Look at this. Look at this. And he even takes off of, like, the diamond shit that Made in TYO was saying.
And sadly, it's this verse is not all that good. It's still better than Cardi's or Made in Tokyo TY. Yeah, still better than those two fuckers, but that's not saying much.
Yeah, so you have, at least in this chunk, 3 filler as fuck verses. You think the last one might be as bad, but there's one name we haven't mentioned yet, and this is what we were building to. The rapper from good old Fort Lauderdale with the name of XXXTentacion. So we need to set this up. We need to build it. So, okay, imagine you're watching this. You have 3 mediocre bling, check out how awesome I am ciphers. Then you have XXXTentacion. He walks, like, center stage. He kneels down, staring down at the floor with the mic. The music stops. And I am looking at a lyric video right now of, like, his cipher. And I'm not going to rap it in flow, but I am going to repeat it word for word, because you all need to hear this. Okay. And if the world ever has an apocalypse, I will kill all of you fuckers. Fear will be plentiful, death will be bountiful. I will spare none of you peasants. Fuck your religion, your passive fuckism. Got sent to the prison in PC. I seen the devil, he's in you and me. You need saving to listen to this. See, follow him home. Cut the right corner. Nobody sees you. Turn off your phone. Leave it at home so nobody can trace you. Master your expressions. Appear to be calm. They won't read your intentions. As soon as you're in, let them all know who they're in the presence of. I am a murderer. I am a demon, the son of a serpent. What is your faith? What is your worth? Have you felt acknowledgement? If I kill you now, will you go to heaven or hell you believe in? Death is approaching you. 30 seconds. Think before you lying in blood, see? And walk back to the corner. Music starts again.
Okay, first I want to say If I was with the room with him, I would have said, man, run as far as you can. And I think one was he was praying about, like, please get me out of here.
I wouldn't say anything. I would just be giving looks to everyone else in the room, like, guys, run.
Get the fuck out.
I think this motherfucker got a knife. Or a Bible. Or cyanide mixed Kool-Aid.
Oh, damn.
It's like, okay, this XXXTentacion, he seems like the kind of guy who watched Fight Club and completely missed the point. Like, this is the kind of motherfucker who would probably worship everything Tyler Durden does unironically.
The nigga sounds like if Light Yagami was a rapper.
He sounds like the kind of guy who probably thinks A Kame ga Kill is the greatest anime of all time. XXXTentacion probably thinks that Sasuke Uchiha did nothing wrong.
Oh, damn.
His
the
favorite...
damn cipher.
Go ahead.
The damn cipher sound like something you hear in front of somebody that never caused a school shooting.
Hence why I would be looking at everyone like, run.
Like,
this is, I think Anthony Fantano put it best. XXXTentacion is the rap game Shadow the Hedgehog. Featuring Dante for the Devil May Cry series.
Yeah, like Fantano said, he's basically a rap anime villain.
Like, holy shit. I think what makes it stand out even more is the fact that this is coming off of 3 really mad bling and bitches filler verses. This is like, how would I describe the progression here? It's like, okay, it's like imagine watching like a basic cable sitcom. It goes through like 3 episodes, but then the 4th episode is like some Twin Peaks bullshit. It's kind of like that. Except, for the part where people actually want to watch Twin Peaks. I can't imagine anyone wanting to listen to this fucking self-indulgent, nihilistic, almost kind of whiny as shit cipher. Like, holy shit, what the hell is your problem, dude? Like, I know you had, like, we mentioned it a few weeks ago, like, you had family emergencies and shit, like, members getting hurt and whatnot, but is that really the reason to go full edgelord?
Yeah, you sound like if any emo kid would rap, and this is what they will rap about.
Like, holy shit, like, he seems like the kind of dude who probably grew up on a lot of Marilyn Manson and never grew out of it. Or Disturbed, for that matter. Getting down with the sickness. That's probably why he was kneeling down. To get down with that sickness, man. So edgy. Ugh.
Yes, Lord!
So, yeah, in conclusion, Kyle had the best cipher. Kamea, you could have done better. P&B Rock gets a B+ for effort. What the fuck, XXXTentacion. And everyone else was just there to collect a paycheck.
Pretty much.
I mean, who knows? Like, it'll probably be a while before we obviously do this. We have to wait until, summer of next year for the next round of ciphers. But, I mean, if nothing else, I hope Kyle goes on to have a pretty successful rap career.
Yeah, he should. Like, I know he got a single. I know he did a single like a couple of months ago.
With Lil Yachty.
I Spy. Yeah, but let's hope he gets at least some more attention, or at least gets more attention. Like, don't let him be like, oh, he's the one guy that got your little Yachty, just like Drum did.
Yeah. Welcome to life. So, yeah, that's basically our thoughts on the freshman ciphers, and that covers all the news discussion for this week. So now we just have to go through the new album releases for July 21st, 2017, of which there are quite a substantial handful. Starting from the top, we have the latest album from European progressive metalers Winter Sun, titled The Forest Seasons, aka Not Time 2, god damn it. The latest album from technical death metalers Decrepit Birth, titled Axis Mundi. the newest album from I Set My Friends on Fire called Caterpillar Sex.
Huh?
This fucking... Anyway, we have the latest album from indie rockers Foster the People. Hey, remember when they were a thing? Titled Sacred Hearts Club. Why do I know that from? I feel like that's a reference to something I should know.
So, I guess Zach Braff's not in there.
I think it's a literary reference. I'd have to look it up later. We have, as we mentioned, the newest EP from Nine Inch Nails, Add Violence. The newest studio album from Drake's bitch Meek Mill, titled Wins and Losses.
Oh, God. Now I have to hear this.
We have a new release, I believe a mixtape from Tyga, titled Bitch, I'm the Shit Too.
I forgot the nigga still doing shit.
We have the latest album from pop singer Lana Del Rey, titled Lust for Life. And last but certainly not least, as we mentioned, the latest album from Tyler, the Creator, titled Scumfuck Flower Boy. So that'll about do it for this week's episode of the podcast. Now we just clean house and get the hell out of here. So, Mark, where can they find you on the internet?
On Twitter, via Mac2 Hybrid Media, and on my site, The Mind of Hybrid One, WordPress.com. Story, the Mind Dance are coming this Friday, as usual. You can see, you can listen, you can read the second one right now, as planned.
Absolutely. As for me, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RobBarracuda. You can also email me if you have any direct questions about the podcast and potential site-related stuff for music, robert@surrealresolution.com. Subscribe to the podcast on Google Play and iTunes. Audio-only episodes go up every Wednesday. Video goes up every Friday on my YouTube channel. Just search Rob Barracuda or Decibel Boost Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell tab so you're always notified whenever new episodes of the podcast go up. And, of course, this is the official music podcast of Surreal Resolution, which you can follow on Twitter at SurrealRezo, find online at www.surrealresolution.com, and find the podcast on its own subdomain, decibelboost.surrealresolution.com. Be sure to listen to all our past episodes. Check out our other great podcasts as well. If you like gaming, check out The Training Stage. If you like movies, check out Salty Flicks. And if you like anime, check out Podcast ONA. Be sure to keep up with all of our great written content. Currently, we have weekly write-ups of My Hero Academia, Season 2. And I will have, hopefully, a couple things up by then. I know at the very least I'll be getting my review of the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy up sometime this week, so stay tuned for that. And maybe an album review if I can get it done in the same time. Let's see. Be sure to jump into our Discord chat if you want to liven things up in there. And, of course, shout out to the producer, Mr. E, for graciously letting me use his music for this podcast. Links to his shit down in the description. And, I just realized, if SoundCloud is safe, that means his shit's safe as well. Woo!
Yay!
And, of course, that'll about do it for everything. So, thank you for listening, and until next time, seriously, Temptation, did your mom not give you enough hugs as a kid?
You got no gun, do you?
Stop till I get them in their birthday suits. So give me the rhythm and it'll be off with their clothes. Then over to the front and touch your toes. I left the jag and I took the roll. The band cutting and I put them on foot patrol.